Now I want to start by talking a little bit about history.
那我先跟大家分享一点点历史上的事情。
And we already see in the New Testament, in the book of Acts, I mean really in the Gospels, but certainly the book of Acts, that there's right away tension between the followers of Jesus and the Jewish community.
你读新约，甚至一路读到使徒行传，你就会发现说，其实，在新约圣经里面就已经很明显出现了耶稣的信徒、门徒跟犹太人之间的那种张力跟冲突。
And at the beginning of the book of Acts, the first several chapters,
而使徒行传一开始几章，
it is an intra-Jewish conflict.
你会看到有一些冲突是什么呢？是在犹太人内部之发生的冲突。
Even Paul, before his conversion, he was sent to arrest the Messianic Jews in Damascus.
甚至保罗在他信主之前，他是蒙受了差遣，要干嘛？要去大马士革去迫害那些基督徒的。
He was sent by the high priests, and they had no authority on the Gentile Christian, only on the Jewish.
大祭司差派了保罗，大祭司对外邦人没有权柄，他只对犹太人有权柄。
But very quickly, things have changed in the church.
但是很短的时间之内呢，教会内部发生了变化。
In accordance to God's plan, the gospel went to many nations.
那按着神的计划，福音传到了许许多多的国家。
And God has opened the hearts of people from very many different countries.
神就开启了地上许许多多国家人民他们的心，让他们接受了耶稣。
Now, pretty quickly, the proportion and influence of Messianic Jews, of the Jewish believers in Jesus,
于是，在很短的时间之内，那个弥赛亚信徒，也就是说相信耶稣的犹太人，他们的比例
became very small.
以及影响力变得越来越少。
In other words, there were much fewer Messianic Jews than Gentile Christians.
换句话说，在当时相信耶稣的信徒当中，那个弥赛亚信徒的比例远较于外邦信徒相对的少很多了。
But the tension with the Jewish community continued.
但是在犹太社群里面、群体里面的那种张力继续在发酵。
And from early on, the church fathers needed to answer the question, what about Israel in the church age?
所以在历史上很早，甚至从那个初代教父开始，他们就必须要来回答这个问题。那到底在教会时代以色列怎么办？
Now, after the year 70 AD, after the temple was destroyed,
尤其是在主后70年圣殿被毁之后，
the Jewish leaders had a big dilemma.
犹太的领袖他们就面对一个非常的两难。
I mean, if there's no temple, if there's no altar, how do we make sacrifice? How do we get forgiveness for sins?
因为圣殿被毁了，没有圣殿，没有祭坛，那我们犹太人该怎么献祭？怎么样解决我们罪的问题呢？
It was a big crisis in the Jewish world.
所以这对于犹太世界来讲是一个很大的危机。
But the decision then that is holding up until today
而当时的决定一直影响到了今天
was that prayer substitutes sacrifice.
就是犹太领袖做了一个决定，要用祷告来取代献祭。
So in other words, the Orthodox Jews get together, or Jewish people get together,
换句话说，犹太人他们聚在一起，
and they pray to God,
他们向神祷告，
and they say 3 times a day,
他们一天祷告3次。
May this prayer be before you
愿我们的祷告呈现在你面前，
as if we offered sin offering,
愿我们的祷告如同赎罪祭一样的陈明在你面前，
guilt offering, burnt offering,
像赎罪祭、像燔祭一样的呈现在你的面前，
as if.
好像这些祭。
Now, in 70 AD,
那你知道，在主后70年，
there are 2 groups of Jewish people that survived the destruction of the temple.
当时唯一能够逃离这个圣殿被毁这个惨剧的，只有犹太群体只有两群人。
And we read about those 2 groups in the New Testament.
而且这两群人呢，你在新约里面都读到了。
The first group
第一
are
群
the Jewish believers in Jesus, the Messianic
就
Jews.
是所谓的弥赛亚信徒，那些相信耶稣的犹太人。
When the Romans came to make a siege against Jerusalem,
你知道，当罗马大军过来要围困耶路撒冷城的时候，
they remembered what Jesus said.
这些犹太信徒他们想起耶稣
When you
所说
see
的话
the。armies around Jerusalem,
当你看到
run.
大军围城的时候，赶快逃跑。
So they ran.
所以他们跑了。
And as a result, they were not harmed
结
by the
果就是
Romans.
弥赛亚信徒这群犹太群体，他们没有受到罗马人的残害。
But the Romans did a thorough job.
但是罗马人呢，他们做了非常彻底的那个工作，
Destroyed the temple and the city.
不但毁了圣殿，而且毁了整个圣城，
And they killed pretty much everybody.
几乎把所有看到的人全部杀光了。
Who were the inhabitants of Jerusalem?
那当时谁住在耶路撒冷呢？
The priests,
祭司，
the Zadokis, the Sadducees.
那个撒都该人，
They were the leaders. They were the priestly class.
他们是那个祭司的那个群体，那些社会上的领袖。
Almost all of them died, murdered in 70 AD.
几乎所有的这些祭司群体撒都该人都在主后70年的惨剧当中被杀害了。
However, the Pharisees were the common people.
但是法利赛人那个群体在当时是什么？是属于老百姓的族群。
Many of them did not live in Jerusalem.
很多法利赛人他们其实根本就不住在耶路撒冷，
And so they survived as well.
所以反而是法利赛人这个群体也存活了下来。
And the new Sanhedrin that gathered after 70 AD
因此，在主后70年之后所在形成的一个新的公会的群体里面，
was very different than Sanhedrin before.
跟圣殿还在的时候的那个公会群体的组成
In
分
the
子
New
差异很大
Testament,。
在新约里面，
the Sanhedrin we read about in the New
你
Testament
在新约读到的那个公会，
was made almost entirely by the priestly class, the
它里面的
Sadducees.
成员几乎都是祭司的族群、祭司的家族的。
The Sanhedrin after 70 AD
但是70年之后的那个公会群体呢，
was almost entirely made up from Pharisees.
几乎清一色全部都是由法利赛人组成。
So all of a sudden you have the Pharisees after 70 AD, you have the Pharisees and the Messianic Jews.
所以换句话说，在主后70年后，有两个群体没有受到损害，一个是法利赛人的群体，另外一个就是弥赛亚的信徒，相信
The
耶稣的
Messianic
这
Jews
些人。
tell the people, we told you.
然后那个弥赛亚信徒怎么跟其他犹太人说？他说：“你看，我们早就讲了，耶稣早就说过了，
Jesus said this was going to happen.
耶稣说过这些事情，惨剧都会发生的。
You should believe in Jesus.
你们应该相信耶稣。”
So very quickly, the Pharisees and the Messianic Jews became at strong odds.
所以很短的时间之内，那个法利赛人跟弥赛亚信徒彼此之间就开始产生了很大的摩擦跟冲撞。
And so through most of church history,
所以换句话说，在整个大部分的教会历史当中，
from that period until today,
从主后70年开始，一直到现在，
when a Jewish person declares faith in Jesus of Nazareth,
当一个犹太人说公开承认他相信了拿撒勒人耶稣的
his
时候，
family and community excommunicate him or
他的
her.
家人、他的群体、家族，其实唯一要做的事、能做的事情，就是把他赶出家门，赶出我们这个犹太人的群体。
Now, in the Jewish culture, what it means to be excommunicated
而在犹太人群体里面，什么叫做逐出家门、逐出犹太群体呢？
is that no Jewish person will talk to you.
代表说，从此之后没有犹太人要跟你讲话，
They're not going to come closer to you than 2 meters.
他们到你面前距离绝对不能跟你靠近2公尺
You
以
know,
内，
if you come towards them, they will go another
或
direction.
者甚至你朝他们走过去，他们马上转头掉头就走，
They will not buy or sell
他们
from
不跟你
you.
买东西，也不卖东西给你，
And your family
而你的家人呢？
and community will mourn you as if you
你的
died.
家人、你的群体会为你举行默哀仪式，认定
So
你就
it's
死
a
了。
form of social death.
所以这是一个形式，从形式上来说，他在社会上认为你这个人已经死掉了。
So this was done as a precaution, you know, for Jewish people. Says don't talk about Jesus too much.
而之所以这样做，所以在历史上就一路成型，变成了说犹太人他其实视耶稣为禁忌，不要谈耶稣这个话题。
So it's a pretty tough reality.
所以这是非常残酷也很困难、艰难的现实情况。
Now on the Christian side,
但是换个角度，从基督徒这个角度来看呢，
there were also some hard feelings.
那基督徒对于这些弥赛亚信徒犹太人也有一些比较负面的观感。
Now we have the writings of the church fathers.
那只要你去看那些那个教父的著作，就会发现，
And it's very interesting to see their attitude towards Israel, towards the
你
Jewish
你
people.
看那些教父著作里面，他们对于犹太人、对于以色列的态度很有意思。
Tertullian, who lived in the 2nd century,
比方说第2世纪的特土良，
he had what is called a dialectical approach to the Jewish people.
像他面对犹太人，他就采取一种所谓那个辩证式的这种进路。
On the one hand, he said, well, now the church is God's people and God is done with Israel.
那一方面他就说，你看教会就是上帝的选民啊，上帝的百姓啊，上帝对以色列就已经反正已经该做的事情都做完了。
He used the metaphor of divorce. He says God has divorced Israel and he married the church.
他甚至用那个离婚的这个象征性的语言来说，哦，上帝跟以色列人的关系呢离婚了。
So that's on the one hand.
这是一方面。
But on the other hand,
在另一方面，特图良怎么说呢？
Tertullian encouraged the Christians to rejoice because he said there is a physical restoration to the nation of Israel, and that is coming in the future.
然后他鼓励那些犹太人说要欢喜快乐，为什么？因为真实的对于这个真实的这个以色列这个民族呢，会有一个恢复即将来临的。
Another person that lived in the 2nd century, church father called Melito of Sardis.
那另外一个在第2世纪的那个教父呢，就是那个萨迪里面的住在美丽都的萨迪。
He takes it a step
他
further.
更把特土良的论点往前推进了一步。
He says, Israel used to be precious to God until the church was created.
他就说，以色列过去了，在上帝眼中非常的宝贵，但是直到现在教会时代开始了。
But Israel became void when the church arose.
而当教会兴起的时候呢，以色列呢就再也无关紧要，已经不需要了。
In other words, Israel did its job, it's done, now the church took its place.
换句话说，以色列完成了他阶段性的任务，现在不需要以色列了，教会接手。
Origen, another church father,
另外一个教父那个俄利根，
very influential church father,
非常有影响力的一位教父，
he actually takes it a step further.
他再把这个论点再往前又推进了一步。
He says, we have confidence that the Jews will never be restored to their former condition.
俄利根怎么说呢？他说：“我们甚至有信心可以这样子宣告，犹太人绝对不可能再被恢复到之前的光景了，
Because the Jews have committed a crime of unhallowed kind.
因为犹太人他们犯了一个非常严重的罪。
In other words, because the Jews rejected Christ,
因为犹太
God
人拒绝了基
rejected
督
the，Jews.
所以上帝就要弃绝犹太人。
So this is again in the 2nd and 3rd century.
而这些事情都在哪里？在第2、第3世纪发生的。
And these positions have carried on throughout church history to the Reformation.
而这些神学的立场呢，就在教会界里面一路酝酿发酵，直到了宗教改革的时期。
And for example, Martin Luther,
比方说，大家都知道马丁路德，
he said the destruction of Jerusalem
他说-
is a proof for God's rejection of the Jews.
他说耶路撒冷被毁，显然就证明了上帝他拒绝不接受了以色列。
Now, John Calvin has more of a dialectical approach, kind of pros and cons.
那加尔文的论证呢，就有一点点那个正反两方都有。
Basically, all those attitudes carry on until today, to Christianity until today. All those different attitudes
那刚才我讲到这些不同的观点、不同的立场呢，一路直到今天在教会界都存在，
carry on to our day.
一直到今天都有。
I think particularly in different parts of the world, but I think including Asia.
那我想在世界上很多不同的地方，特别可能亚洲也在
And
其
as I
中。
mentioned in China, you know, Chinese people have no inherent negative attitude to Jewish people.
就像我第一堂讲的，就是华人其实在历史上其实跟犹太人中间向来没什么过节的。
However, many times when the gospel came, those attitudes towards Israel came with it.
但是很多时候，当福音传进亚洲或其他国家的时候呢，那个对犹太人的这个心态也无形之中进入了到了不同的国家。
Sometimes in an unspoken way,
有时候他的这种心态并不是那个白纸黑字写给你看、讲给你听的，
and sometimes without any malice.
甚至有时候呢，这个心态你好像讲出去也没有，他也不是带着恶意在传递的。
I met many people that said, well, that's what I was taught and I never thought about it.
我碰到很多人听到我跟他分享这阶段，他就说：“我也不知道，我以前别人就这样教我的。”
Now, in modern or not more, but contemporary theological discussion, these kind of view has various names.
那在现代神学界探讨这个方面议题的时候呢，有不同的那个名称或神学的那个标题或议题。
It's referred to as replacement theology.
有人说这个
Sometimes
东西叫做什么叫替代神学，
because the church replaced Israel as
因
the
为
people of God.
教会替代了以色列，
Sometimes it's called supersessionism.
用拉丁文的替代神学，
It means
意思是
that the church superseded or displaced Israel.
意思说教会它已经是那个替代了、取代了以色列的角色跟地位。
The Latin term is kind of talking about a chair.
那个拉丁字眼的那个用的字汇，他谈的是在谈那个，
Someone was sitting on the
椅子。
chair,
就比方说某个人他现在坐在椅子上，
and then somebody else, took his place on the
然后
chair.
另外一个人呢，他取代了他的这个座位。
Sometimes it's also called fulfillment theology.
有些神学家甚至称之为说，所谓这叫做应验神学或成全神学。
Because in the present era, in this view, the church fulfills the function that Israel fulfilled in the previous
他们的
era.
说法是什么呢？他说是在现今教会这个时代，教会的角色已经应验了、成全了圣经对于以色列的期待。
Because, throughout church history,
那因为你知道，在整个教会历史上，
the great majority of church history,
绝大多数的时期里头，
the Jewish people were dispersed. I mean, they were in exile.
犹太人是那个被流亡在世界各地的，
So there was no land,
没有土地，
and there was no language.
也没有共通的语言。
The Hebrew language was dead for 1500 years. Nobody spoke
大家知
Hebrew.
道，那个希伯来文这个语言其实已经是在历史上死了1500年，没有人讲这个语言了。
And in most of those places, the Jewish people were persecuted.
而在大部分犹太人所到之处，都是受迫害的。
And so, there are different passages in the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament
所以有不同的那些旧约圣经上的经文，也有新约上的经文，
that seem to teach
好像是在教导什么呢？
that there will be a time that God's going to bring the Jews back to the land.
好像在教导说，哦，有一天神要把这个犹太人呢，从世界各地带回到那个块土地上。
Not only physically, but also spiritually.
不但是在那个从物质层面来看，从属灵层面来看也是这样。
But it seemed so unlikely.
但是对于在历史上那些犹太人来想这件事情，觉得是太不可能发生了。
And so many people in church history adopted an understanding
所以换句话说，因此在教会历史上，绝大多数的基督徒都采取了这样子一个认知的态度。
that all those passages are merely allegorical.
意思就是说，圣经上旧约、新约都好，讲到这种以色列有一天要被带回到应许之地这样的经文呢，其实只不过是一个预言或一个灵异上的一种解释说法而已。
In other words, it's a metaphor. God's not actually going to do it, it's a metaphor.
换句话说，他们读到圣经上那些经文的时候，都认为说啊，这只是一个比喻而已，不是真正将要发生在以色列身上的事情。
Now, I told you about my side of the family that came from Spain. I told you a little bit about that
我刚
side
跟
of
大家
the
讲了，
family.
我自己的那个家族呢是来自于西班牙，
That's the side of the family that sent me to the psychiatrist. Yeah, in my video. Yeah,
就是那
they
我爸妈
actually
那个
did.
家族，他们就最后让我看心理医生的。
Now, the other side of my family
那我家族的另外一半呢，
are Jews that for 2,500 years were in Babylon, in Iraq.
那我家族的另外一半是来自于哪里？来自于巴比伦、伊拉克，他们在那边居住了2500年了。
They have arrived there with the first temple diaspora.
他们什么时候到那边呢？是那个圣殿第一次那个被掳的时候，就出去到了巴比伦了。
Now, if you remember in the books of Ezra and Nehemiah, only a small number came back to the land. The majority stayed in Babylon.
那你如果读尼希米记，就知道说，真正回到应许之地的，其实只是犹太人中的一小撮，大部分人还是住在巴比伦。
So my family stayed there.
所以我的家族的祖先继续住在巴比伦。
And every year, like any other Jewish community, they would pray, next year in Jerusalem.
每一年他们都会聚在一起祷告，朝着耶路撒冷。
But again, it seemed unthinkable.
那每一年都在祷告说，我们将要回到耶路撒冷，但是每年祷告，每年觉得根本不可能发生。
However, in 1947, 1948, the state of Israel was established.
但是大家都知道，在1947、1948年，现代的这个以色列国这个国家终于诞生了。
And all of a sudden, life in Babylon were not so pleasant anymore.
然后突然之间呢，那个在巴比伦生活的那个景况，反而似乎不怎么吸引人了。
And in fact, in 1950, the entire community of Babylonian Jews had to leave the country, leave everything behind, and immigrate to Israel.
事实上，在1950年呢，整个在巴比伦那边的犹太群体被迫要整个离开巴比伦。
So my mother was a young girl. I mean, she was 2 or 3 years old when they arrived to Israel.
所以我妈妈她抵达以色列的时候，她很年轻，才2、3岁而已。
But enough of my family history.
但是我家族的历史大概就讲到这边。
The point is,
我要讲的重点是
where this connects to our discussion,
连接到我们刚才的讨论
is that we are a blessed generation. We are a blessed generation. We are a blessed
我
generation.
们是一个那个蒙福的那个世代，
Because we get to see things that are said in Scripture that seemed absolutely unthinkable before.
为什么呢？因为我们现在看圣经，会看到一些事情已经发生了，是以前的人看他们觉得根本不可能发生的。
Okay, I'm going to talk about this more in future sessions, but the point is, think about it.
但是我的重点是要邀请大家一起来思考。
There are around 13.5 million Jewish people in the entire world.
现在全世界大概犹太人口有1300万，
That's it.
就是这个数字，
Very few.
很少。
In the state of Israel,
而在以色列这块土地上
there
呢，
are 7 million Jews.
有700万犹太人。
That means that there are more Jews residing in Israel than in the rest of the world combined.
代表说，现在住在以色列这块土地上的犹太人的数目，远大于世界其他各地犹太人的总和。
That has not happened since the time of Jesus.
这件事情打从耶稣那个时代到现在，从来没有在历史上发生
And so
过。
the question becomes,
所以问题来了，
why are the Jews back?
为什么这些犹太人会回到了这块
I
土
mean,
地？
is it God's plan
这到底是上帝的计划呢，
or is this a historical accident?
或者只是历史上的偶然与巧合呢？
I mean, it cannot be both.
你不可能两者皆是嘛。
And this is part of the reason I'm telling you, I told you before,
所以这是为什么我之前就告诉过大家，
the way you understand Israel has ramifications on your theological view on a variety of
你对
areas.
以色列的理解会影响到你在神学上看待这一切事物的。
Because if God actually, if it's a God action that the Jews are back in Israel,
因为如果是上帝的作为把这些以色列人带回到了这块应许之地，
if he actually did what he said,
而且如果这位上帝真的是按着圣经做到了他之前所预告所说的事情，
then we need to take the scripture literally, not allegorically.
那换句话说，我们在读圣经的时候，你就不能够用那种所谓的预表式的解经法，你必须要按着字面的含义来解释它了。
But if it's a historical accident,
不，但是反过来说，如果你说今天以色列人在以色列这么多人，纯粹是一个历史上的偶然，
those passages are really allegorical, but
而圣经上这些经文纯粹只是那些寓意解释而已
it's。a historical accident that really happens,
那现在以色列人为什么会这么多人呢？纯粹碰巧而已。
then that influences the way we view the scripture in a different way.
而那马上会改变你对于圣经解读的方式。
We want to come to Romans 9 to 11.
好，接下来我要带着大家一起来看那个罗马书9到11章。
And I'm not surprising you that the epistle to the Romans is considered a theological pillar in the New Testament.
那我想我这样讲，应该没有人会觉得很惊讶。罗马书可以说是整个新约神学或整本圣经神学当中的这个扛鼎之作。
In that epistle, the Apostle Paul is laying before us the main points of his biblical theology,
而在罗马书整卷书当中呢，保罗一一罗列他的神学主题，
as well as the principle of the local church and the Christian life.
而特别指出来说，在地方教会还有基督徒的生活应该是如何的样式。
Now, it's very, very interesting to look at this epistle structurally.
而且很有意思的是，你要看这个罗马书是要看它的结构。
By structurally, I mean kind of lay it aside with the old chapters.
那所谓结构怎么看呢？就是把这些章节一一的摆列在你面前。
And when you do that, you see something very peculiar, very strange.
而当你去研究罗马书的结构之后，你会看出有一些很独特的地方。
Right in the middle,
就在这正中央，
immediately after he's talking about the Holy Spirit,
就在他前面刚讲完圣灵不久，马上
the Apostle Paul is dedicating 3 whole chapters to the question that we're asking today.
保罗就花了整整3个章节的篇幅来谈论今天我们这一堂要讲的主题。
What about Israel in the church age?
那到底在教会时代，以色列扮演什么样的角色？
Now, this seems to demonstrate
那这似乎他正在显明了一件事情，
that God inspired the apostle to write it this way because it's important.
是上帝亲自漠视保罗去用这样的方式呈现出来的，因为这个主题太重要了。
Not only the fact that it's 3 whole chapters,
不只是3个章节完整的篇幅，
but also the fact that it's right in the middle.
而更重要的是从结构上来看，这个9到11章就在整个罗马书的正中央。
He's asking, has God rejected or cast away his people?
你看罗马书11章怎么说？保罗说：“我且说，神弃绝了他的百姓吗？
Is God done with the Jewish people?
上帝 在上帝心目中，以色列人、犹太人是不是他的角色到此为止了呢？
And he's answering the question pretty quickly.
那你看保罗怎么回答的？
I've put here 3 different translations in English.
我在投影片上放给大家看3个不同的翻译译本。
And you can compare the Chinese translations.
你可以跟你手上的中文译本来相比较。
But the exact words are not the important thing, or not what I want to draw your attention to.
那里面的那个字汇并不是我要大家特别要来查考的。
What I want to draw your attention to is the emotion.
我要让大家特别来注意的是，保罗在讲这几个字的时候，他所带出来的那种情绪跟情感。
I mean, it's really a yes/no question.
因为这个问题的答案很简单，是否
Did God reject or didn't he?
到底有没有弃绝他的百姓？
Yes, no.
弃绝没弃绝？
However,
但是你看，
Paul is responding very emotionally.
你看保罗是怎么样情感丰沛地在回答这
By
个
no
问题。
means! Exclamation mark.
他怎么说？他说断乎没有，
Absolutely no!
惊
Exclamation
叹号
mark.
绝对不是，
May it never be! Exclamation mark.
毫无可能，惊叹号。
Now, it kind of begs us to ask, whenever we see that kind of an emotion in the scripture, it begs us to ask, why? Why is he responding so
所
emotionally?
以你看到那个保罗这么样情感丰沛的回答，看到那么多惊叹号，你一定要问为什么？
You know, maybe it's because the Jews were so kind to Paul and he felt obliged to, defend them.
一定是因为说犹太人对保罗太友善太好了，所以保罗一定要站出来帮犹太人讲讲话。
No, that's not the case.
当然不是，
I mean, he was called a traitor.
因为你不要忘了犹太人是怎么对保罗，他们说保罗是什么？是叛徒哎。
He was persecuted and had to go to a Roman prison because, as a Jew, he dared go into the Gentiles.
保罗就是因为他身为犹太人，敢去向外邦人传福音，所以最后犹太人要怎么样？把他送到罗马官府关起来。
We read in Galatians that 4 times he was whipped, 39 whips.
你看到那个加拉太书怎么说呢？他4次被鞭打40下，减去1下。
The 39 whips was a Jewish punishment.
39次的下的鞭打，这是犹太人独有的鞭打方式。
So he was severely persecuted by his own people, by
换
the
句话
Jewish
说，
people.
保罗被他的犹太同胞是如何对待呢？是严重的迫害的。
And so it wasn't because, his emotion wasn't because they were so nice to him.
因此，保罗在这边这么样情感丰沛这样回答，绝对不是因为说因为犹太人对我太友善了。
I want to submit to you that Paul responded so emotionally because this question primarily reflects not on Israel, but on the God of Israel.
而我会建议这么样看，保罗之所以在这边情感强烈的回答，不只是单单因为犹太人这个民族，而是因为以色列的这个上帝。
I want to read together with you Romans 11:25.
那好不好？我们一起翻开来罗马书11章25节。弟兄们，我不愿意你们不知道这奥秘，恐怕你们自以为聪明，就是以色列人有几分是硬心的，等到外邦人的数目添满了。
There are 3 words that are very interesting that I want to draw your attention to in this verse.
罗马书11章25节里面有几个地方很有意思，我要特别带大家来看的。
The first one is secret or mystery.
第一个是什么呢？奥秘、秘密。
Whenever we see this word in the New Testament, it talks about a new revelation, something that was not revealed previously.
你知道，当你读新约的时候，读到奥秘，你就知道这代表的是之前没有被启示出来的
And very
信息。
importantly, Paul is he's referring to the fact that the Jews do not accept Jesus as a nation as a mystery.
而很奇妙的是，保罗在讲什么？犹太人之所以不接受耶稣基督，这本身是一个奥秘。
I think Seth mentioned this beforehand. Jewish people think of themselves that they are the smartest.
那我讲那个另外一位讲员，他今天早上有提到过说，其实犹太人的自视甚高，觉得自己是全世界最聪明的。
I also heard that Chinese people think of themselves that they're the smartest.
有人也跟我说，华人向来自视也甚高。
And this is why Paul is saying, here's the point. All people think of themselves as the smartest. That's the point.
保罗在面上他说，其实全世界每一个民族人都觉得自己最聪明。
And he says, listen, it's a mystery.
然后保罗说，不是聪不聪明的问题，而是这是奥秘。
Something that cannot be understood by regular common logic.
换句话说，你靠你的脑袋，靠你的理性是不可能明白的，这才叫奥秘。
So I want you to understand it's a mystery.
所以保罗说，我不愿意你们不知道这个奥秘，
So you don't think about yourselves as wise.
那免得你们会有人觉得自己很聪明。
And then he says the second expression is there's a partial hardening of the heart or partial blinding of the eyes.
而第二个重点是什么呢？是以色列人当中有几分是硬心的，是
That
眼
has
睛
happened
瞎
to
的，
Israel.
是在以色列人当中有几分是硬心瞎眼的。
So I asked the other day, and I understand in the Chinese it says hardening of the heart, right? Partial hardening of the heart.
那我知道中文的译本翻译的是硬心，
That's actually a better translation of
这
the
个
Greek
这个
word.
翻译其实比那个瞎眼要来得更好，
Because this Greek word that's talking about the hardening appears 8 times in the New Testament.
因为这个硬心这个字呢，在希腊文呢，在新约圣经里面出现了8次。
In one of those times, it's referring to Isaiah 6, 9 and 10.
那其中有一次呢，他是提到了说那个以赛亚书那个第6章，
And it talks about the heart that does not understand.
他谈到的是什么呢？就是在讲他们的内心不明白、不理解。
So it's kind of like President Tsai talked to us about Jacob Nausner, this famous Jewish scholar.
就像今天早上蔡院长谈到的那个 Jacob Neusner， 那个很有名的美国的犹太作
The man is
家
a。genius.
这个人他其实是个天才，很
He
聪明。
wrote 900 books.
他写了900多本书，
Do the math. That's a lot of books.
你自己算一算，他写的书真的不得了。
And he says, I like Jesus of Nazareth.
然后他还说什么？他说我喜欢
here,
耶稣
I
拿
like
撒勒
him.
人。你知道吗？他哪里喜欢？他这边喜欢，
But here,
但是
I cannot accept him.
内心呢 ，Newson 人他没办法接受耶稣，
That's part of the hardening.
这就是所谓的硬心。
Now, the third word,
第3个字，
that this hardening happened to Israel until
这个硬心是要到什么时候呢？等到
the fullness of the Gentiles have come.
外邦人的数目填满了的时候。
I don't know if you have heard,
我不知道在座有多少人有听到过。
but currently there is a conflict going on in Israel.
目前在以色列发生有这样一个冲突的那个事情正在上演。
So our neighboring countries, particularly from the Gaza Strip, our Palestinian cousins are shooting missiles at us.
就是在以色列周围的国家，特别是加萨走廊那边，我们那些阿拉伯的那些兄弟，他们正在对以色列发射那个火箭、飞
Now, I call them cousins
弹。我称他们是我们的那个表兄弟、堂兄弟，
because the Jews and the Arabs call each other cousins.
因为的确犹太人跟阿拉伯人彼此互相称兄
Because
道
of,
弟。
because of Isaac and Esau.
因为
I mean, Jacob and Esau, I'm sorry.
雅各跟以扫他们就是兄弟。
There are literally, imagine that Hualien is shooting missiles on Taipei. That's the distance. That Hualien, how do I say that?
哦，
Hualien,
所以
yeah,
就好像
yeah,
说，
yeah.
如果花莲人对台北发飞弹，
Yeah,
那
shooting
你
missiles
感
on
觉一
Taipei.
下，你想想看他对台北那个射飞弹过来，你什么感觉？
That's the distance. That
距
is the
离差不多
distance.
就是这样子哦，花莲到台北，
Now, you know, in every house in Israel,
你
in
知道吗？在-
every apartment,
在以色列每一个家、每一栋公寓
you have a shelter, a safe room.
都有那个所谓的那个避难所，或是那个
It's
逃难的地方。
It's built in a different way than the other rooms.
它这个房子那个构造的方式跟其他房间都不一样，
It's kind of much stronger.
它会那个就是当那个空难来袭的时候更加的坚固。
And whenever a missile comes,
有任何时候一旦那个什么飞弹来的时候，
there's a siren,
然后就警报响起，
and you're supposed to go to the safe room
大家就要去到那个防空洞避难
and
所，
close the door on the inside
从里头把门关上，
until
直到什么时候？直到
you know, there's a message in TV or the radio that says, okay, the danger is gone. I mean, you can come out
直
of
到
the
电视或
shelter.
广播说哦，现在那个危机已经解除，然后你们可以出来了。
So whenever we see the word until, we
So-
know that whatever it is temporary.
所以当我们听到了那个直到，就是圣经上说等到这2个字的时候，我们知道不管发生什么事情，这些东西都只是暂时的。
So, by the way, parenthesis,
那另外我多插一句话，
please pray for the Israeli and the Palestinian people at this time.
请
That
大
the
家在
conflict
这
will
个时候
cease,
特别为以色列人还有巴勒斯坦人来祷告。
and that even in this difficult situation, you know, people will open their hearts to hear about the Lord.
即便是在这么艰难的时刻，他们都能够愿意敞开心扉接受耶稣。
Back to our passage.
回来看这个经文，
What Paul is saying here,
保罗在这边说的是什么？
he's saying this hardening of the heart is temporary.
他说这个硬心，以色列人有几分硬心这件事情是暂时的。
And to explain what he's saying here,
保罗接着解释他到底这边在讲什么呢？
to explain why he's responding in such an emotional way to the question, well, if God rejected the Jews,
为了要解释他为什么前面那么情词 恳切的要来回应说，上帝弃绝犹太人吗？断乎没有。
Paul is presenting to us what is called the doctrine of the remnant.
保罗在此就陈明给我们看一个所谓的渔民神学的内涵了。
So the doctrine of the remnant, the expression is coming from 1 Kings chapter 19.
而这个渔民的这个神学，这个两个字从哪里来呢？
Where-
从列王记上19章那边来。
You may remember we meet Elijah,
你还记得那个以利亚？
and he's all alone.
他一个人，
He's standing before God.
他在神的面前
And
站立。
God is asking him, Elijah, what are you doing here?
然后神就问他说：“以利亚，你在这边干嘛
And Elijah said, oh, they killed everybody, and I'm all alone. It's just me, and there's nobody else.？”
以利亚在那边哭诉说：“哎，你看我把其他人全部都宰光，就剩我一个孤孤单单。”
Have you ever felt that, by the way? Have you
我
felt
不知道
like
你自己有
you're
没有
all
感觉
alone?
到
It's
像
just
以利
you.
亚那
There's
么孤
nobody
孤单
else.
单，旁边没有
God
人
tells
帮你。
him, no, you're not.
然后我要告诉你，不是的，
I
你不是一
left
个人。
7,000.
上帝怎么回应以利亚？他说有7000个人。
And then God calls them the remnant. I
上帝
left
怎
the
么称呼那7000人
remnant.
呢？他说那些人就叫做渔民。
Now, the remnant are the Jewish people from among the nation of Israel.
而渔民是什么呢？是从以色列这个国家里面所拣选出来特别的犹太人。
That remained faithful to God even when the majority were not faithful.
即便绝大多数犹太人对神不忠心的时候，这些渔民依然对神忠心。
The New Testament is talking about Israel, the Jewish people.
新约谈到了以色列人、犹太人，
It also talks about the church.
也谈到了教会。
These are people from all the nations, including the Jewish people that believe in Jesus of Nazareth.
是从那个世界上列国列民里面来相信耶稣的，也包含犹太人在里面。
Anyone that has accepted the free gift of God's grace and forgiveness in the Messiah, Yeshua.
换句话说，愿意接受神在耶稣基督里面所带来这个无条件白白的赦罪之恩的，都可以加入这个群体。
But here is the interesting thing.
但是有意思的地方来了，
Are you familiar with the verse in Galatians chapter 6
大家还熟悉那个加拉太书第6章吗？
where it says, in Christ,
他说什么呢？他说
there is no man, no woman,
那个在基督里呢，从此不再分男，不再分女了，
no Jew nor Gentile,
没有所谓的犹太人，没有所谓的外邦人了，
no free man nor slave.
也没有所谓的那个自由人，或也没有所谓的奴隶了。
It talks about the fact that our spiritual position has nothing to do with our early stance.
换句话说，保罗在讲什么？在讲我们在属灵上的身份与我们在地上的这个角色身份认同完全没有关系的。
So, I've been asked many times by well-meaning people. They were not trying to
那
tease me in any
很
way.
多时候我都知道，有些弟兄姊妹他是满怀好心的来问我问题，
They said, so you were a Jew before you were a Christian.
所以他们就会问我说：“你是先是犹太人，然后才是说你是一个基督徒？”
But think about the verse we just read from Galatians.
但是你想想看，我们刚才读的那个加拉太书的经文，
It's like asking me, so you were a man before you became a Christian.
他好像就在问我说：“所以你是不是什么？先是男人，然后你才是一个基督徒
Are you following me?？”
大家听懂我在讲什
I'm
么
just
吗？
checking if you're awake. You're awake?
大家还醒着哈。
Okay, because that's important.
这个重不重要呢？
So, have you stopped being a man or a woman the moment you put your trust in Christ?
你想想看，当你选择相信耶稣基督的那一刻，你是不是放下了你自己男人或女人的身份呢？
Did you stop being a Jew or Gentile
你是不是
the moment you became a Christian?
因为你相信了耶稣基督，所以从此之后你就再也不是犹太人或者不是外邦人了呢？
Well, the answer is no.
那当然，答案肯定是不是的。
So I didn't stop being a Jew when I became a follower of Jesus.
所以对我来说，即便我选择相信耶稣，做耶稣的门徒，我还是一个犹太人。
You know why?
大家知道为什么吗？
God is not hearing my prayers any better than He hears yours.
上
He
帝
doesn't.
听我祷告，正如同上帝也愿意听在座每一位弟兄姊妹祷告
In
一样
terms。of our spiritual position, and I think Dr. Wu was referring to this earlier, we are both seated in the heavens.
换句话说，正如同说那个吴老师早上有所提到的，从属灵的角度跟位分来讲，我们全部都是坐在天上的，
No difference.
没有差别。
And this is why we are brothers and sisters in the truest sense.
因为在天上我们坐在一起的关系，所以我们才是真正的弟兄姊妹。
Physically, however,
但是从那个肉身上来讲，
I come from the family of Abram, Isaac, and Jacob.
我从亚伯拉罕、以撒的那个家族体系里面出来的。
It's a fact.
这事实就是如此。
And there is still a covenant, the Abrahamic covenant.
那个亚伯拉罕之约
And it's a little bit barbaric. I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. It may sound a little bit barbaric.
这个听起来可能会觉得有一点点那个粗鲁或野蛮，或者比较粗糙。
But God says there is a sign for this covenant, and it happens to young boys at the age of 8 days.
神在那个亚伯拉罕之约里面就说明了说，亚伯拉罕之约用什么来呈现呢？对于那个年轻的男孩出生第8天，就要在他身上做一个记号。
So sometimes I'm asked,
所以有时候别人就会问我了
do you circumcise your boys on the 8th day?
哎，那个卓博士，你自己的儿子，你会不会把他你会为他行割礼，在第8天行割礼呢？
And I tell them, well, I don't do it myself.
那我跟他说，那当然不是我自己操刀啦。
But yes, I order the guy that does it. I mean, there's special people to do it, and
但
they
是
do it.
的确，我会打电话叫那个专门做这个事情的人来。
It's not a sign of, I mean, it doesn't give our children or us any spiritual advantage.
你知道吗？割礼这件事情并没有因此而给我儿子任何在属灵上特别的优惠地位。
But it does signify that we still belong to the Jewish people, the nation of Israel.
但是却代表了我的儿子依然是这个以色列的子子孙孙的一员。
All that to say,
那我说这些东西
that the remnant of the New Testament
是要告诉大家，在新约里面提到的渔民，
has a bit of a complicated position.
他其实本身的这个位置或位阶是有点复杂的。
Because physically, we are still the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we're still part of the Abrahamic covenant, physically.
因为从肉身上来讲，我们犹太人呢，我们依然是亚伯拉罕、以撒、雅各的后裔跟子孙，我们依然在亚伯拉罕之约里面。
But spiritually, we come to know the living God only by accepting His grace in faith in the Messiah Jesus, nothing else.
但是从属灵上来讲呢，我们唯一能够得到这个属灵的地位的原因，就是因为靠着相信了耶稣基督，上帝所赐给我们的这位弥
And
赛
so
亚。
this is why I put the remnant
所以这是为什么我把渔民那个圈圈
in Israel and in the church all at the same time.
放在以色列跟教会的这个中间同时成立。
Now, in Romans 11, Paul is giving 3 arguments to his point why God absolutely has not rejected it. He's not done with Israel.
而在罗马书11章里面呢，保罗就给了我们3个论点，告诉我们说，上帝没有弃绝以色列。
Why this hardening is temporary until.
为什么这个以色列人的硬心是一个暂时的？
And the first argument, or the first point that Paul is making, he's saying, For I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, the tribe of Benjamin.
第一个论点，保罗怎么说呢？他说：“因为我也是以色列人，是亚伯拉罕的后裔，是属便雅悯支派的。”
He says, Look at me.
保罗怎么说？他说：“你看看我就是。”
I mean, the Jews still exist. This is what Paul is saying.
保罗说什么？我就是犹太人，我还站在这里，我存在。
He even knew what tribe he was from.
他甚至知道自己是哪个支派来的。
Most of the Jews now, I mean, we don't know what tribe we're from.
那对我们21世纪的犹太人来讲，我们大部分人都不知道自己是哪个支派的。
Unless you come from the tribe of Levi and then you have special last names.
除非是你是从利未支派来的话，你可能后面那个姓氏那边有一些特别。
So the fact that a remnant exists, or the fact that there are Jewish people that believe in Jesus, is a testimony that God is not done with the Jews. There's still a role for them to play down the road.
所以换句话说，渔民的存在就证明了上帝并没有弃绝以色列，在上帝的计划当中，以色列民未来仍然有其角色。
The second piece of evidence is found in verse 4.
第二个论点在罗马书11章第4节，
Paul is saying, but what does the word of God says?
他说什么呢？他说神的回话是怎么说的呢？
He's quoting the verse and he says, just as it is written.
然后他就引用这个圣经上说，圣经上怎么说的？
All of Israel will be saved just as it is written.
整个以色列都要得救，正如圣经上所说的。
So listen to what Paul is saying.
那你仔细听保罗在这边要讲的话。
If you think God rejected the Jews, this stands in contradiction to what the Bible teaches. This is Paul saying, not me.
保罗说的不是我说的哦。保罗说，如果你认为以色列弃绝了上帝弃绝了以色列，那很抱歉，你根本是违背了圣经上白纸黑字讲的话。
And the third point that Paul is making,
第3个论点，保罗要带出来的是，
he says, even so, then at this present time, there's also a remnant according to the election of grace.
保罗在罗马书11章5节说：“如今也是这样，照着拣选的恩典，还有所留的余数。”
He's saying it's not just me.
保罗在说什么？他说：“不只是我保罗这一个人而已，
There's a group.
还有一群人，
It's not very large.
虽然不多，
It's a remnant, a small portion.
虽然是一小撮人，但是是渔民。
But there is a group of Jewish believers in
但
Jesus.
的确是有一小群人，犹
And
太人是相
and
信耶
that
稣的。
demonstrates that God is not done with the Jews.
光是这一小撮人，就足以证明上帝并没有弃绝以色列了。”
Now, I have put here, it's a little bit difficult to see, but I've put here a book titled Messianic Judaism.
我在这上面投影片上放了一本书的封面，那大家可能不容易看到，它的书名叫做《弥赛亚犹太教》。
This book was written by a history professor who, in a university in California.
这本书的作者是一个那个加州一位大学的这个教授，他所写的。
And this history professor happens to be a Reformed rabbi, an Orthodox Jew.
而这个专攻历史的这位作者，这个教授他是什么呢？刚好他是一个所谓的改革宗的犹太教的拉比。他是一个那个正统信
He
仰的拉
became
比。
interested in this phenomenon of Jewish people turning to Christ.
就是你能想象吗？这个正统犹太教的这个拉比，他突然对这个弥赛亚基督徒、弥赛亚犹太教的这件事情感到兴趣，开始写了一本书。
So, being a historian, he did a historical research of church history from the book of Acts all the way to the present day.
那因为这个作者他自己是搞历史的人，所以他怎么写这本书呢？他就一路追踪从新约圣经的使徒行传开始，一路追溯历史上的证据，写出了这本弥赛亚犹太教的书。
And this rabbi historian actually proves in his book
而这个正统犹太教的拉比，甚至在他书里面已经证明给我们看了。
that throughout church history there has always been a remnant.
在整个那个历史的进路当中呢，一直有这样子一股渔民的存在。
Sometimes it was quite small,
有时候这个渔民的人数非常的少，
but it's always existed.
但是他们从来没有断绝过，一直存在。
And that's really important for Paul's argument.
而这一点对于保罗在罗马书的论证非常的要紧。
Because if we couldn't find a remnant
因
of
为
Jewish believers in
如
Jesus,
果你在历史上有一段时间完全找不到任何相信耶稣的渔民，这个犹太人的话，
then there's something wrong with Paul's arguments.
那代表保罗的论点他就不能成立了。
And maybe he's wrong. Maybe God really did reject the Jews.
或者保罗写错了，或者上帝真的就弃绝了以色列了。
But as we see, he did not.
但是从我们看到所有的证据显示，上帝没有弃绝以色列。
So, as I come to the close of this session,
那我这一堂讲到这个最后这个地方，
I want to ask the question of, so what?
我要问大家说，那接下来呢？
I mean, this is nice. This is interesting. But what does it have to do with our life?
对，前面听到这些资料、这些资讯很有意思，但是对于我们的教会生活有什么影响呢？
I mean, in the coming sessions, I'm going to talk more about, well, what does it mean?
那在接下来几堂会跟大家谈更多这件事情对于我们教会生活的意义跟影
Why
响。
is that important?
为什么这件事情那么样的重要？
I'll finish with a story, another story.
那我最后用一个故事来总结。
So several years ago, Seth, he's our academic dean. He did our academic program, and he invited a well-known New Testament professor to teach at our seminary.
那你知道那个就是几年前呢，我们的那个教务长邀请了一个很有名的新约学者到我们神学院来
From a
教课。
well-known big university in the United States.
他是在美国很有名的大学的新约教授。
And so this professor came,
那然后这个教授来了我们学校，
and he found in his class he had both Jewish believers in Jesus and Arab believers
结果
in
他上课
Jesus.
的时候发现这个班上同学里面竟然又有犹太人又有阿拉伯人，都是相信耶稣的。
And he was scratching his head, and this is weird.
他就觉得好怪哦，怎么会一个班上又有犹太人又有阿拉伯人聚在一起上课？
And then Seth and I Seth knew him previously, and we had lunch together.
然后结果到了中午吃饭的时候，跟那位教授，
We asked him about his position. I mean, it happened naturally, but his position to Israel.
我就反正就不经意的跟他聊起来，说，哎，那这位教授，你对于以色列有什么看法啊？
And he said, I didn't meet many Jewish people growing up.
然后那个教授就说，我成长过程中其实并没有碰到过太多那个犹太人。
And throughout my education, he did Christian college, seminary, PhD.
我念书的过程呢，基督教大学神学院拿到了博士，我也没有碰到太多犹太人。
I never really heard I didn't hear much about Israel.
我对以色列其实知道的很少。
when I think about it, there seems to be a sentiment that, I mean, God is done with the Jews, isn't he?
然后那个新约教授竟然就说，可是当我有时候不经意想起来，就觉得说，好像这个上帝是不是对于犹太人就已经差不多就到此为止了？
Now, he wasn't angry.
那个 you mean
He was not angry.
那他在讲这个话的时候，他其实一点没有生气，没有动怒。
This is, he said that his professors
因为他
taught him
那个
that.
新约教授就说什么，他念书的时候，他自己的教授就是这么样教导他的。
We had some contact with him at the end of the week.
然后等到那个整个礼拜上课要结束的时候，我们就继续跟他有一些交通。
And then also when he went home.
然后后来呢，他回到了美国之后，我们还有联络。
And it actually came to a point where he says, look, I'm really confused.
然后到后来，这个新约教授他就说，他真的是有点搞混了。
I feel like I have to revisit my position on Israel because, I've seen you guys.
那他来到我们以色列圣经学院教书了1个礼拜之后，回去他就觉得说，他必须要重新整理他对于以色列的神学立场，因为他来到现场亲眼看见班上又有犹太人又有阿拉伯人。
And so he went back to the scriptures.
所以他就回去查考他的圣经。
And he actually did a short video. I think it was like 3 or 4 minutes.
他其实他自己后来就自己录了一段影片，差不多3-4
in our
分钟，
studios.
是在我们的那个录影室里头录
And he
的。
said how God has transformed his understanding because of what he saw.
他就说，上帝借由他来以色列这个教书1个礼拜所见所闻，改变了他的一些神学的想法。
I'll stop here and want to bless you and thank you.
那我就停在这边，愿神祝福大家。